Greetings, brothers and sisters. Happy Sunday. Welcome to our TOMA Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. That's WARSHIP, WARSHIP. We are an all-inclusive, Black conscious movement dedicated to the economic, social, and spiritual survival of Black people in urban America. If you enjoy what you see and hear today, the TOMA Nation would like to extend our invitation to you to join us each and every Sunday, 12:30 to 1:30, live on Facebook from Chicago, Illinois. Tune in and be fed by God's messengers. For more information, you can reach us at 708-730-4858. Please join me as I recite our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, He that causes all that exists to exist, He that is self-existent, He who directs the sonships of millions of years, and He who made time the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amin-Ra and Atum, among the Hebrews as Ansal, Yahweh, and Elohim. Among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah. Among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God. And among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to Him who I give reference and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the lost 13 tribe, born here in North America and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flow through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now we are going to go and to recite our 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1, we believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2, we believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Amin. Number 3, we believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic holy books were all Black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a Black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the Black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gang banging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between the various street gangs within the inner cities of America and the world. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the Black community of weapons, break up the Black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young Black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the creator of the universe under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Kased, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the Black communities of urban America. Our mission: our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild the community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buy back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now, if you will join us and raise your right fist as we recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in this future bright Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 millions back of it, whose destiny depends on it, the red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right hand up and stand while we recite our Black national anthem. Black power, Black power, Black power. Brothers and sisters, Black power only means the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. Now, I am going to introduce our speaker for today. And our first speaker is one of the ministers of our organization. He is our youth minister, Minister Tahaka J. Shakur.
Peace, peace. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and he who made time, the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites as Amun-Ra and Aten. Among the Hebrews is An-Sof, Yahweh, and Elohim. Among the Christians is Lord, God, and Jehovah. Among the Muslim and Islamic world is Allah, the one God. Among the Rastafarians is Jah, Rastafari. Among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa is Odumare. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Creator. And it is to him who I give reverence, and it is to him whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of the Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the lost 13th tribe, born here in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all nations flow through our veins, and I greet you in the ancient and holy words of peace, and that of our ancestors in Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Obargani, Alafia, and Ashe. Again, my name is Minister Taharka J. Shakur. I am the youth minister of the Temple of Mercy Association, aka the TOMA Nation, founded and led by my leader and teacher and guide, Minister Raheem Kased Aten, co-founded by Minister Omari Jahi Aten, and our first lady is Sister Makita Aisha Aten, as a righteous movement dedicated to the upliftment of our people. As you heard last week, if you tuned in last week, and just to recap, we are in the month dealing with health awareness. Now, when you typically hear health awareness, you may think of it, oh, he's talking about your diet. Yes, more. Okay. We are not just talking about the diet of things that you eat physically, but the holistic approach to everything that affects who you are as a person, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. We want to make sure that we are focusing on all these areas in our life when it comes to the health of them. And another one, we can say financial health, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother month. But when we talk about health, what are the things that we have been given as falsity? As false things and teachings that have been put on us continuously since we were children, things and habits that we have accepted in this world that has caused us to be at a state of continual degradation. I say that we are in now as a people, as a whole, see me, no, but as a whole, our people are falling down continuously. Well, we keep seeing a decline in our health. We keep seeing a decline in our mental stability. We keep seeing a decline in our ways of life. The major reason why we see that consistent decline is if you go back in the Bible and understand that when Daniel said he wasn't taking the king's diet and he was spiritually uplifted, but this brother Because we still talking about this cycle of time that they existed in, that we exist in, where animals eat meat. Where animals eat meat, where carnivores exist. What if I was to tell you the only reason why animals eat meat is because we eat meat? Have you ever seen the picture of the lion and the lamb sitting next to each other? I always seen that a little bit differently than other people. Other people seen it as, because they say Jesus came as the lamb and he will return as the lion. No, I seen it as, you telling me there was a point in time where lions didn't eat other animals? Do you know, and this is something that you can pay attention to, if you ever had a pet, that pet started to do things the way you did. It was influenced by you. Now, this world, and see, I'm only starting with animals because it helps to simplify where I'm going with the characteristics of some people who have a little bit more free will, because animals don't have free will, right? They fall into a certain characteristics and follow certain characters. Now, we know from the history of the people who happen to still be in power now, because we as the gods of the earth have not chosen to unify once again and take our rightful place back on planet earth. Because as you know, we in the Temple of Mercy are dedicated to the upliftment and the building of the kingdom of heaven. And guess where that kingdom is? It's the entire earth. So we're talking about building a better society that is in oneness with God. But as we look at animals, understand that the beings that are in power now, we just will call them the devil, because I don't want to say a particular race, because you will be confused at the end of the day, because race, there's only one race. Everything else is a copy and not real. It's just black, period. So these beings that are in place that control the earth, we know if you look at their history, they were cannibals. Sometimes eating their own to survive. Like their stories, very disturbing stories that I've read before, of there used to be a time where certain people would have children just so they can eat them. Don't that remind you of some animals today that after they have a child, sometimes they eat them? Now, go back into your household. If you don't pay attention to how your dog does exactly what you do, guess what? When you lay down, guess what the dog is going to most likely do? If you really have dominion over it, the energy that you put out is the same energy that the animal put out. So the reason why we have animals and carnivores is because the people who dominate society are carnivores. If God, the creator, our ancestors, gave us everything we needed to eat from Mother Earth, and she provides every substance of nutrition that our bodies needed. Those bodies needed. The bodies that we are in now, we wonder why they are so frail. You may have heard stories. There's one in the Bible about long-lived people. I believe Moses lived 10 times almost longer than your average human today, which means if the average human gets to 65, he was at least older than 650. But some say he lived to be 1,000 and something. Go further back to when the earth was just black. There's some who believe that we lived for 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years. We are feeble creatures in comparison to where we once was. There are others who say we were standing at 10 foot tall on average, and I happen to only be 5'9". Now, wait, you're telling me that people were twice the size? Look at the animals that are only herbivores, that only eat herbs. Do you think if you was to put one lion who eats meat, in a pit with a silverback gorilla who eats nothing but leaves and bamboo. I think, wait, do they eat insects? Gorillas. Okay, they don't eat. Okay, I'm just making sure. Because I've never seen a gorilla actually eat an insect except for on Tarzan. She didn't like the bug when she ate it. But put them in a pit with each other and watch who walks out. When we eat the diet of the devil, which is something we have to let go of. You've heard the minister say many times, with us being gods, we have to eat the diet of the gods. But we are eating the diet of the devils. You say, what do you mean, the diet of the devils? If you look at our ancestors and the monuments they built for you to know wherever we've been in the world, you see beautiful monolithic structures that time can't even affect. You want to look where the devil has been, you will look for places like McDonald's, Popeyes, Subway. Those are their landmarks. And what comes with that? Notice how when this man-made virus came out, and they closed all the essential business, they kept the essential business opening, you know they shut down all the health food stores. Because they wanted to make sure that at the beginning of their virus, those who knew were not able to help. But your McDonald's, your Taco Bell, every fast food restaurant was able to still be open. And if a police officer seen a business that was not deemed essential, then they reported it shut down, your business now gets fined. So now you're getting fined because they tell you you're not essential. When did McDonald's become essential? Did we all forget that they did a documentary of that they, and I'm saying they as the white man, did a documentary to show us how poisonous that food is. But yet you still see lines formed around corners in some instances for people to go get that poison. But enough about that. We're here to talk about getting off of the devil's diet. When we say physically, mentally, emotionally, and most important, spiritually, what spiritual food are you feeding yourself? Are you feeding yourself the foolishness that the so-called Europeans, because it's only 6 continents and Europe is not one of them, this so-called white man has showed us about spirituality? See, we can look at astrology. See, I'm going to break it down. See, we can look at astrology the way that the Westerners taught us. We always talk about Western science and Western this and Western that. When you look at astrology from a Western mindset, you get stuck in this box. And they tell you that you will continue to act this way and such, and when this happens, such and such. Have you ever got your horoscope and it was wrong? Yes. Have you ever was told something from really, really looking at it and they say, this is true about you because you was born at this time and at this place, so this has to be true? Do you understand that they only have a certain degree of knowledge? So anything that they give to you is only a spoonful of what the ancestors and the universe can give you a bowl full of. Again, it's a very small piece of it, of the truth of it. We don't understand the things that they are sharing with us. They don't even understand themselves. That they are not able to dive deep into spirituality on the level that we can. So when we practice Western ways of spirituality, we get caught up in something called religion. See, when we getting off the devil's diet, I'm gonna aim with food, but start with spirit. Because if you cannot separate your mind, understand that every illness, be it with your body or in your mind, starts where? In your mind. You could think yourself into sickness. For example, the moment that you tell yourself, I'm getting a cold, guess what happens? You get a cold. There's so many people who are afraid of this virus that the universe gave them reason to be more afraid of it. Every single person in my family who have gotten COVID, because I don't believe it takes people out personally. I personally don't believe COVID takes people out. I've had my grandmother go into the hospital with COVID. I've had my mother have COVID. I've had my uncle have COVID. My little sister had COVID. Ain't none of them die from it. Because you have to have it in your mind first. But if you, again, attach yourself to this devil's diet, you would have been watching the news, hearing about all these cases of people dying from this virus. Then you would think, oh my God, now I have to protect myself from this virus. But if you just walked away from the devil's diet, if you stop subscribing to the devil's diet, and if I need to be a little clear for people who's like, what does he mean in the devil's diet? Well, let's just give the devil a name right now called America. If you are tuned into America's diet, you are bound to die. Die in a sense of you will never be resurrected to be in the army of God. Period. And when I say these things, it's not in the religious connotation of the army of God. No, not how it talks about in the white man's religions. If you read their interpretations of their Bibles that they rewrote from ancient Bibles. But let's dive deep into what I mean spiritually letting go of the devil's diet. I was randomly listening, one of my roommates was listening to something about people who are fools. He was talking about, Trump is a fool, and all of his followers are fools because they blindly followed him, and some of them woke up to the foolishness as the time went on. Some of them knew he was fools before he became president. Then some of them found out he was fools when he was president, but it took a majority of them to find out he really was a fool when insurrection happened. But one of the things that I was hearing the brother say in the video, I don't say brother, one of the things I was hearing one of them say in the video as he was calling people fools, he was on point. Those who blindly follow Christianity but don't follow Christ, again, I'm going to say that one more time. Those who blindly follow Christianity but don't follow Christ, those who claim Islam but are not submitting to God, those who claim to be Buddhists but are not truly enlightened, y'all fools. And I can keep going to how you are bounded by this religion and you push this religion and you push this spirituality from the devil onto others, knowing that that can't save us, period. The only thing, there is no outside force greater than the force inside of you. Black man and black woman, listen to me again. There is no force outside of you than the force within you, but the devil has convinced you, following his diet, that everything that can help you is outside of you. And you say, what do I mean? Do you know that the spirit inside of you is the thing that created everything in the universe that we see? So why would you need something outside in the creation when the creator is in you? But they don't teach that in religion. They want to keep you bounded and a fool to the way that they teach it. Spiritually, you have to feed yourself and fast, right? See, fasting is not just fasting from food and liquid. Even when you do Ramadan, they take it to another level where you fast from sexual activity in the daylight time. Don't you know you need to start fasting from people? You need to literally walk away and take some time away from certain conversations that you're having with people. Take some time away from sitting in those same groups. In network marketing world, they say, if you look at your 5 friends and all 5 of them are broke, no, if it's you have 5 friends and you're the 5th one, and 4 of them are broke, guess what you are? Broke. If you want to go to another level, you have to fast yourself from the people who are at the level you are. Because trust me, when I say this, that if you are not where you should be spiritually, because we're still talking about spirit here and the devil's diet, because everybody around you are on the devil's diet. So you need to fast away from those people on the devil's diet to get on the diet that God should be on, which is positive thinking. If you are around people that they have no other thoughts but negative thoughts, they're always complaining about this and saying this problem, and they don't have this solution, or this is going bad, or they even reject wanting to hear positivity and optimism, and they look down and they're always a pessimist. You need to fast from those people. They need to stop. You need to stop allowing them to feed off of your light. Because this will help you mentally. You need to fast from the negative thoughts that you continuously tell yourself, oh, I can't do this. No, fast from those thoughts. Start to have thoughts and start positively affirming yourself. Start hearing things. Turn off the TV. Turn off the radio. Listen to your higher self. Stop ignoring spirit when spirit comes to talk to you because you're so distracted. Listen to me. Fast from the distractions. See, because when we talk about the devil's diet, it has been bombarding our people with an idea of what health is, or how to get to the next level, or what you should be focused on. Do you know 95% of our people are suffering in poverty? And trust me, when I say poverty, you might be like, but we're not homeless. No, poverty is, I want to redefine poverty. Can I redefine poverty, sir? I'm going to redefine poverty for 1 second. Thank you. Poverty to me is needing someone else to do for yourself. So 95% of Black people are in poverty because we are looking for someone else to do something for us, to get us out the situation we are in. The conscious community talks so much about white America, but they don't want to get out of it. Because once they come out of that meeting, they still going to their 9 to 5 for the white man. So you're in poverty. We have a poverty conscious because we want something for nothing. We don't want to do nothing. There's too many of our people getting unemployment right now because they don't want to get off their butts and start a business. The PPP loans, oh, the government is good, right? The government is good. Not good in the sense of good. No, they good. Because the way y'all think y'all scamming the government getting these PPP loans, you're entering your social security number. You're entering your address. You're giving us information to them. They know you ain't got no business. They know your track record. So they giving you this money so they can put you in more poverty. So you keep coming to them. And then 10 years down the line, you be like, dang, I thought this was going to help me. But you don't even know as Black people, you're scamming all these people, you're getting all these people these large amounts of money, but then you're not going to the process that the white people that's getting this money, the real business owners, because the business owners know that there's forgiveness for these PPP loans. But since you're stuck in poverty and you see this gets rich real quick scheme, you're going to get this $20,000 check and then a week later it's going to be gone. You didn't invest it in your business. You would invest it in your TV, your new clothes, because you're on a devil's diet. And guess what? The devil don't even stay on that diet. The devil don't prescribe to his diet. The devil's diet is for you. Let's go back to Daniel. You think the king ate the stuff he fed to the slaves? Do you really think the white man, obviously you can't think that, go to their neighborhood. You think they on the same diet that we are on as people? See, the devil's diet that we have subscribed to is the reason why we kill each other. It's the reason why we can't get along with each other. Because when you look at the devil's diet, again, it's not just what you eat. No. It is not just what you drink. It is what you also hear, see, smell, feel, all of your senses, and the ones that they don't know about. The colors that you see on a consistent basis, the certain smells. You ever walked outside and be like, it just smells foul, but don't understand why that smell is out there? Never truly understand. Do you understand the things and the toxins that they are forcing us to breathe in on a daily basis? And if you don't know how to master breath, you can't consciously filter the negative toxins that are being pushed into our system. If you can't do that, if you don't understand, that's why we are talking about the holisticness of health. Because you might be not eating poison, you might be showering with it. You might be moisturizing with it. You might not eat pork, but you might be putting it in your health. Because you might not know every ingredient of pork, and you're like, well, I'm not eating it. But do you understand that your body still ingests things that you don't have to eat it for your body to ingest it? You know the chemicals that we breathe, guess what your body is doing? It's ingesting it. You know the things that you hear, guess what your body doing? It's ingesting it. You know the things that you see, guess what your body is doing? It's ingesting it. You know the things that you put on your skin or in your hair, your body is ingesting it. Which is why you have to fast from it all. You have to fast from your favorite cologne or perfume. Because do you understand what those toxins are doing to your mind as you smell them on a consistent basis? Yes, the chemicals in there are giving your mind this pheromone smell that is attracting and you think it smells good, but at the same time, it is confusing and messing up the chemical makeup of your mind, which makes you a little bit unstable. Sometimes it might make you do things that you wouldn't want to do. Like if you're a loyal man and this woman walks past you, having a certain smell, and you don't want to turn around, but just because of the smell, you turned around. Knowing you shouldn't have had another gaze, but now you have gotten caught up in her smell, or you've gotten caught up in her looks, or you've gotten caught up in what she said to you, which is why you have to fast. We as a people have to unsubscribe from the devil way of doing things. We had a presentation presented a few months ago now by Minister Jacqueline on the power of melanin. And in one of the slides, she talked about how our diets, see, this is when we're going to go to the food side of it, how our diets have affected the melanin in our body. And by the time we are age 18, because the things that we did it, but the devil's diet that we put our children on By the time they're 18, their spiritual gifts that they had when they was children, like your imagination is gone by the time you're 20. Do you know that the average adult don't know how to use their imagination for real? Don't understand the power of their minds and their thoughts? Do you understand that when a child wanted something and they seen it and imagined it, it was real? Do you understand everything that we see, from the lights, from the telephone, from the computer that you sit in, was in somebody else's imagination? Then it was manifested real, which is why we don't seem so creative anymore. And then we have to use drugs to get a high when we can naturally get there. We feel that we are more creative when we're smoking a blunt. We feel we're more in tune when we're a little drunk. Like, why? Why have we failed for this trap? How long have we been sipping from the cup of foolishness as a people? How long will we allow ourselves to be continuously bamboozled as they put certain things in front of our face as normal because we are subscribing to the devil's diet? I need Black people to stop watching TV. I need Black people to stop scrolling through their Facebook, because guess what? They're listening to you. They're algorithmizing you. Yeah, I said the right word. I made it make sense. Algorithmizing you. To find out what to show you. And if you're a super positive person and you're an inspirational person, do you know they're going to flood your timeline with everybody else's problems? So if you are at this high energy, they're like, no, we got to bring this brother down. That if you're winning in their society and they see you winning, they're going to do what they can to make sure that you are, as the term is called, shadow banned. So we obviously can't do it. We need to separate ourselves from this entire society the way it is. We need to come out of this world. No more being in this world and thinking we can do something while in it. This world is burning and we're starting to fight. And if you are not willing to come out of her, you're going to be burnt. Not purified by the fire, no, burnt by the fire. And I'm not talking about no physical fire and I'm gonna go set buildings on fire. No, that's not my MO. I'm talking about the fire of God. See, because he promised us he won't flood the earth again. He didn't say nothing about setting on fire and letting it burn for a bit. But are you away from the devil's diet, where when you start seeing certain ships and you can know the right ship, because many of us following the devil's diet follow the devil's idea of the rapture. Trust me when I say you don't have to go nowhere for salvation. There's no other place that your physical body, Theodore, aka Minister Tahaka, can go for salvation. I can get my salvation here and only here. So, but they tell you that in the twinkling of an eye, this white man is going to come from the sky and save all his people and just bring them up in this ship. See, we're talking about the devil's diet still. This is on the devil's diet. This is the devil's diet. And it's be beamed up in the sky. Gonna be just left without a trace. You seen, if you haven't seen, what's that, Left Behind? I remember seeing that as a child. It was a movie about the rapture and some of these people was left behind, and it was showing the people who were still left behind. But do you understand that even in that movie, they were trying to show you something, that it was righteous people who were supposedly left behind. No, only the blind, deaf, and dumb will fall for some trap like that, because trust and believe me, the devils are going to show you a white Messiah. Haven't they been trying to fool you? Because that's the devil's diet, to believe that any of the so-called prophets in your religion is a white man. Or an Arab man. Or a Chinese man. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Buddhist. God, your God is black. I'm sorry, Muslim. Your God is black. I'm sorry, Christian. Your God is black. And any person who tells you that the color of their prophet don't matter, the race of their prophet don't matter, they on the devil's diet. Because the last time I checked, it do matter. Because if I know that my ancestors created the universe, that lets me know that I can create anything. But if you see this white Jesus who saved all humanity, what makes you think you can save yourself? You're going to feel this need for this great white hope. If you're going to a church every Sunday and you see these pictures of angels and prophetic white people on these stained glass windows, you have been force-fed the devil's diets religiously your whole life. And so when it comes for a time, but when that white Jesus will come from the sky, many of y'all are going to bow down on y'all heads and wonder when you get taken up, the same way they do genetic experience. Am I going there? Yes, I am going there. The same way that the devils do experiments on us on earth, their creations, who are more powerful than them, will just be experimenting on us too now. Because they have been experimenting on them for a while. To see, well, we got their genetic material. We're talking about aliens right now, is where I'm going with this one. You don't get too many black people who get abducted by aliens. 2 reasons. First reason, even though the white man, even though the white man has been giving a certain time span to be in power, the creatures outside of this earth was never given permission to also do what they want with us, first and foremost. Secondly, they wasn't made from our genetics, so they use the genetics of their creator. And so that lecture would be like hours if I was to fully go into that. But understand when I'm saying this, the diet of the devil has been perplexing. One of the biggest lies in the devil's diet is you can be as wicked as you want. And as long, right, as you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, right before you die, you're going to heaven. Makes sense for them, even though it's not true. How many mass murderers were Christians? How many pedophiles that prey on children? You have the entire Catholic Church who is known for having a seminary. And what's the other one? Seminary and rectum. It has something to do with it. Yes. Understand that it's talking about your children's semen and their rectum. Because don't trust me. So they're using this lie that as long as you're saved by Jesus, the white Jesus though, trust and believe me when I say they're talking about this white Jesus. Because the masses of them that rejects the fact that the black man and the black woman is God, even though they knew it, even with their beginning, understand that they have no history. They have no true history. The only reason why we think they have a history because our lifespans are so short now. So with that, we have to lengthen our life. We have to lengthen our life. And I want to just read a little bit from How to Eat to Live. One of our prescribed readings is Message to the Black Man from Elijah Muhammad. And this is one of the messages that he gave to the black man. He just put it in another book. So it's still connected to the message that he gave to black people. And this is chapter 3, Lengthen Your Life. In order to lengthen our lives, we must begin with what we put in us that retains life. There is not a shadow of a doubt that he has taken the proper steps to give us more life in order to have and enjoy the pleasures of life, he being God. If we should be the Gregorian, most of the world right now is celebrating a holiday called Mother's Day. But we should be giving greatness and thankful and grateful for the greatest mother of all, Mother Earth, who supplies us with the things that we need to thrive. But there's a mentor of mine, who's Dr. Bay, who says many of us have never eaten a real meal our entire lives. Your fruits are processed. Your vegetables are processed. Your meats, even though you shouldn't be eating those at all, are processed. Your drinks are processed. Your seasonings are processed. Now you got herbs being processed. Have you eaten a real meal? Do you understand when you bite into a real apple what that feels like? Do you understand that you eat too much? Have you ever tried to go and just eat once in that day and understand that you have been habitually taught that your mind and body is not hungry? It's just in habit. You have been doing the same thing all of your life. When you were a child, you were taught you need to eat 3 meals a day. So guess what you got in the habit of doing it. But nobody told you that as you get older and don't need as much nutrition as you did as a child, which is why it's okay for a child to eat that many times a day. But when you're older, your body needs to be doing more. What do children do most? Let's go down to a baby. What do a baby do all day? Eat and sleep. So their body can use what it is that they just ate to grow. What we as adults can do is move more and sleep less. So stop eating as much so you can get more done. They always talk about we all have the same 24 hours. I don't even believe in time the way people do. Time is the length that it takes you to do something. That's the only time that matters. The length it takes you to do something in accordance with yourself or somebody else. So the 24-hour gauge that they have given us don't work for me. Especially if it could be 5 o'clock here and 1 o'clock somewhere else. That's them telling you time don't really work well. Because if time was real, it'd be the same everywhere. If this is one place. But there was a time when time didn't exist in the way that we see it now. But again, that's because we're attached to the devil's diet. And as long as we stay connected to the devil's diet, we will suffer as a people. I want to share a little bit from a book that I have been studying. It's not a prescribed reading of the Temple of Mercy, but this is called Black Root Science. Oh, the book ain't gonna really show. Oh, there we go. It's called Black Root Science. This is volume 2. It's 2 books. The first one is a lot bigger than this, but this one got so deep. And it talks about biological functions. This is this chapter. He says, Black roots, did the ancients go to the bathroom? You may find this hard to believe, but the reason you go to the bathroom is really to remind you that you are not eating right. You are eating the wrong food, food that creates gas and residue in your stomach and bladder. You are eating too much of it, and you're eating too often on an improper schedule. So it's really a safety mechanism made by the body to remind you of all those things. It's exactly like when you see ants in your home. That means you have food where it's not supposed to be, and it can create a health hazard and harm you and your family. So the ants, roaches, rats, etc., come in not only to get the food, but to act as a warning to you that you are putting your health at risk and need to clean up your house. Every sickness that you have is showing you that you need to clean house, that you need to deal with everything physically, mentally, clean up those mental blockages that you have. Clean yourself out. Understand how the body truly works so you can know how to truly clean it out. Purify yourself of those negative thoughts. Fully and most importantly, to separate yourself from this world. Come out of her, my people. I promise you, the world that we will create is so much better. I want to just leave with you as we talk about health. Just some different books that are, again, not prescribed readings of the TOMA Nation, but helps to be prescribing yourself of the proper herbs and the things that you need to do. You have the Little Herb, too close, encyclopedia. And the bigger book first. I like the last one a little bit more. The prescription for not nutritional healing. Okay, boom. Here we go. Get in there a little bit. Here we go. And understand that you are Black, aka African, as we deal with the state that we're in, that before we came over here to America and was stolen, we were in Africa. Africans have a different body makeup. What works for them works for them. From their thinking, it works for them. You ever try thinking like a white man? It don't work. Don't end up working out too well for you. So when it comes to our health, we need to do things that help cure us. So you have the African holistic health, complete home remedy guide, disease treatment, nutrition, diet, holistic perspective, because we're dealing with the wholeness of health, not just what you eat, but what you think and what you do. I leave you as I greeted you in the ancient but holy words of peace, and that of our ancestors in Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Peace.
Thank you so much for that that lecture. I hope you guys really paid attention to what Minister Tahaka was talking about. And as May, every May is our health month. So please continue to join us throughout the month as we talk about issues related to our health. I hope you appreciated the message that our youth minister, Minister Tahaka J. Shakir, gave us today. And we thank you for joining us for our Sunday worship service. We are a grassroots movement located here in Chicago, Illinois, and you can always support our work by partnering with us and supporting us on Cash App at Cash App hashtag TOMA NATION. That's TOMA NATION. If you had any questions about today's lecture from Minister Tahaka J. Shakur, or the one from Wednesday where we talked about mental health and the vaccine, you can reach us at 708-730-4858. And you can also reach us by email at templeofmercyassociation@gmail.com. Once again, if you would like to support our grassroots movement, you can donate to us on Cash App at Cash App hashtag TOMANATION. Thank you so much for your support, and every little bit helps.